You're listening to Wedding and Event Insider. This is Michelle Twerberg, your host. Today's guest has a floral and design business. She really got started with her business in 2003 when she decided that she would create her own flowers for her wedding day. And not being one for doing things halfway, she actually took a professional floral design course before her wedding day, and she fell head over heels in love with everything about the floral business. It's actually grown into a family business now. You got to listen in to some of her stellar tips about starting and growing a business.
So if you can find somebody in your industry that's willing to, be your friend, and talk to you about, their struggles or things that have worked for them, that's just the best way to build your business. It's definitely community over competition.
Oh, I so agree. Welcome, Tammy Johnson with Studio B Floral Designs. I think listeners are going to be surprised at the variety of services you offer.
So I'm Studio B Floral Designs, and it's a full-service event and wedding florist company. So I'm different a little bit because I provide an individualized approach. So I'm involved from the beginning, helping the couples create their dream event. I meet with the couples, I assist them with coming up with a design and kind of a style that meets with their budget. And then I also have centerpiece rentals, and then I work with other rental companies. So I'm able to do like centerpieces and other decor, and I help set all that up. And then I even come back after the event and I help tear down the rentals and take them back, and sometimes even return them to other companies. So it's full service all the way.
Oh, that is so wonderful. That is, yeah, it's so nice that you come and grab, that they're not having to get that and transport it from and to and that sort of thing. That's a huge service because there's so many details on the day for a big event like that. And I was looking at your website. I saw some of your rentals that are on there. I was like, oh my gosh, I love those silver mercury risers and the candlesticks that you have. Those are so pretty. So it looks like you have a pretty good selection that people can get their hands on to rent instead of trying to purchase that they're going to just maybe use maybe one time.
Yeah, usually I'm buying stuff based on some event that's coming up. Somebody has something, they show me, and I'm like, oh yeah, I want that. I'll just get it. I'll get it and I'll keep it and lend it to you. So
right, because somebody else is going to probably want it too, which is really wonderful. I love what you said too about the doing your floral design and the event design, and just from the startup to helping them be taken care of on their day and that sort of thing. It sounds like you're really feet on the ground at the event as well, is what I'm hearing from you.
Yeah, so I go to most of the weddings. Occasionally it's a smaller one and I can just have somebody, usually in my family, drop it off, or I do have one assistant and she can go out and do a wedding on her own, but usually I've still designed the flowers, so I feel like maybe I'm more hands-on than a lot of other florists are.
Yeah, no, I've seen you at some of the events, and I would definitely say that yes, you are definitely hands-on, and it's so helpful. I mean, as I have done wedding and event photography, and a lot of times, so they're getting their flowers pinned on, and then they're coming to, we're getting ready to take the pictures, but a lot of times there's no floral person there, and then the people are struggling trying to figure out, how do I put these on?
Right,
what do I do? Or they have questions, which side does it go on? Or something, is going wrong. But nope, I've seen you at events, and I know that you have that eye for detail and job well done, and just making sure that that they got what they need and everything's going forward. So that's a big deal for making an event start off really nice, as far as my viewpoint, when I take them over and start with the event pictures. So yes. Right. Now a word from our sponsor. Perfect Day Ceremonies Affordable I Do's. Reverend Susan Lee Wright and her team of officiants create meaningful ceremonies with couples that want to say I do. Providing affordable custom wedding ceremonies, Susan Lee Wright is dedicated in having her clients have the perfect day. Visit perfectdayceremonies.com or call 612-2-SAY-I-DO. Now back to our show. It looks like too, I was looking at your website too, you do a little the event design, and it looks like are you also doing like some of the planning, like coordinating? Is that also some things that you offer as well?
Yeah, so sometimes people have a lot of decor that they want incorporated that they've collected, And so in a way to use, use theirs, it kind of starts to turn into a day of coordinator type position. And I do a lot of day coordinating, where I actually help, cue people to go down the aisle. I can meet with them the day before for the rehearsal, give them some advice for the day, and then just make sure everything runs smoothly all day. So then I just stay for the whole day besides setting up the event. So I do quite a few during a season where I am there for the whole event, doing day of coordinating as well as the decor. If they do need a full planner, I only usually take on 1 or 2 of those in a season because they're a lot more involved and require a lot more leading up to it.
Sure.
So I do have a lot of planners that I love, and so I send a lot of them to planners because they need a little bit more than what I offer. Mine's more of a decor-based, styling kind of based planning, where if they need someone to really hold their hand while they go pick out a dress and the whole 9 yards, then I have great planners that I send my couples to for that. But
right. I such an advocate for the day of coordinating, and planners too, absolutely. But boy, when there's not a planner or a day of coordinator at the event, it's so different as far as how not running as smoothly. I actually was photographing a wedding this last weekend, and they did not have that. And actually, it was like, I think 10 minutes before the wedding was supposed to start, and they were asking myself and what order they were supposed to walk down the aisle.
Right.
I'm sure I'm happy to help, but I was like, oh goodness.
Right.
This is 10 minutes before you're supposed to be going down. Yeah.
Not the photographer's job, right? To know which side to stand on and when to go and all of that. So.
I know. So, I mean, yes, happy to share information and, definitely dive in and help whatever needs to happen on the day. But man, I love it when there's a coordinator there, a day of coordinator there, because they're just on it, and able to answer those questions and just making sure that things are going smoothly. And if any little issues are going on, they're able to just take care of it in the background, where then most of the people and the guests and that sort of thing have no idea. But it's just a smooth running event. So that's I'm glad that you offer that too, because man, I think it's well worth it.
It's well worth it. I think everybody should have a planner, myself, but
yes.
Even if not me, I do have a lot of great planners I work with, and so I'm always like, oh, you know who you need to talk to.
Yes, I know, and that's what's so nice. You've been in the Twin Cities offering your services here for a good amount of time. How many years have you been in business now? Tell me. I'm pretty sure I know, but
17 years.
17 years. Yep. You are definitely a gem here in the Twin Cities, and your services are with a reputation as well. Tell me, so 17 years you've been in the business. What inspired you to start your business?
Well, I've always loved flowers. My mom had a lot of flowers when I was growing up, that we could cut and I could arrange into little flowers for the tables and stuff. So I've always loved them. I used to go to the farmer's market, every weekend, get flowers for my table, that kind of thing. And I worked at the University of Minnesota in housing. And so I worked at one of the dorms, and I switched to a dorm that had, summers off. So it was closed during the summer.
Okay.
And I did some work for housing, but I had time on my hands. And I used that time to, I took some flower classes at Kohler and Dram. My own wedding was coming up, and I thought, I want to do my own flowers. Let's see if I can make this happen. But I wanted to learn how to do it right. So I took flowers at Kohler and Dram as a floral wholesaler, and it's actually where I still am there. I get the majority of my flowers there. I still take classes and see designers there. So it's still a part of my life, my flower family there.
Yes.
So I did my own flowers in 2003 for my wedding, and then some of my friends, and then some of the kids who actually worked in the dorms with me, I did some of their flowers. I did Valentine's flowers for the dorms. So some of my first floral outings was, with my kids from the dorms there at the university. But then my daughter was born, and I decided that I would stop working and housing and just focus on my business because it gave me a lot more flexibility. I could be home during the
Yes.
day. I didn't have to send her to daycare.
Yep.
And so, here we are 17 years later, and my daughter works a lot with me. We're out doing weddings together just about every weekend. So it's,
I love that. It's so
so,
nice as it turns into a family business. It's just that
yeah,
is such
so
a,
I
yeah.
have 3 kids and they all work with me quite a bit doing stuff. My son paints things for me and cleans things and hauls stuff for me. And both my daughters go with me. The majority of my weddings, especially this year, not having outside staff so much.
Yep.
My daughters have been going with me a lot. My husband will go and help set up an arch or, something big,
Yep.
control that I need. So definitely a family business now. So it's been
Yeah.
really nice.
Yeah. No, I love that. And from looking at your website too, I mean, I can see that you still have a heart or that to yourself bride or client might be looking to do that. I saw that that you have some bulk floral packages that you include if people are just wanting to do that sort of thing as well. I think it's
Yeah.
nice to have that variety and to be able to offer, full service, or if it's just like you just need a few tips and
So my daughter is actually the one who added the bulk DIY flowers because she loves to process the flowers.
okay.
So we get them in and then she processes them. We hold them in the cooler and then someone, maybe I do the bouquets and boutonnieres and then someone can have matching floral to go with their flowers and they can actually do it themselves. So
I love it.
so that was something that she really wanted to add because that's something she finds enjoyable is processing the flowers and I find it tedious. So
Well,
so
that's so
she has taken on all of that and she put together all those DIY packages for me. So yeah, so if someone is just looking for something and they want to do flowers themselves, but they don't want, they want the flowers to actually match their bouquets and boutonnieres or,
yeah.
things that you can't get at Costco.
Right, right. Kind of at the mercy of what's there. So yeah.
Right. We actually order them in and we make sure that they're fresh and they'll last and hold them here in a cooler, which is important to harden them off and get them ready for the wedding. So yeah, so we just added that this last year because more and more people doing, the backyard wedding or
Yep.
just a smaller event
Smaller
and
events. Yep.
trying to save some money or whatever. We've added that in there. So
I think
have
that's great.
variety that way of different price points for
Yes. Yep. And then it's as much as they want to do or not do. And
yeah.
that's a nice being able to offer that flexibility with your services and be able to customize it for your client. I think that's really nice. And then having this grow into a family business. So um, a lot of people that would, as far as starting their own business or how do I get in? I mean, do you have a tip that you could share with those that may be thinking about maybe starting their own business?
Sure. You're going to love this tip.
Okay, can't wait for it.
So one of my most important marketing strategies for me has been networking. And as an introvert, that's been really hard. And I'd much rather just hide in my floral studio and create the floral designs. And I do like meeting one-on-one with my couples and talking about their event and making it happen. But the whole getting myself out there and meeting people has been difficult. And I think TCWP has been wonderful because it's so inviting and just I've met so many great people, made great connections through your networking group.
Yeah.
And so, one tip, I guess, is besides the networking group is to try to follow up with someone so that you can have some one-on-one connection with them. Can't necessarily all go to coffee, but right now, but
Yes.
that's been kind of you can always do, a Zoom call or something or coffee outside on the patio once it warms up again.
Yes.
But that's been one of my biggest ways of growing my business has been just getting out there and meeting people in the industry. And but I want to add to that also I've learned so much from other event florists. And I know when I first started out, I would approach florists, so maybe at a bridal show or something, and they were pretty standoffish and didn't want to talk to me. And I've just found that there's so much to be learned from other florists, and so other florists that are open to talking about their businesses. It's supportive, and you can learn so much from each other. So if you can find somebody in your industry that's willing to, be your friend,
Mm-hmm.
talk to you about, their struggles or things that have worked for them, that's just the best way to build your business. It's definitely community over competition, especially with us
Yeah.
smaller event florists. We're able to send business to each other. If I got sick, I know that someone would be there to help me because I've made some really good connections in the floral world. And I think that just starting a business, if there's a way, even, go out and work for another florist or something, if you want to be a florist, or if you, want to be a DJ, go follow another DJ, or
Yep.
whatever it is that you're wanting to do. I think learning from your peers is really important. And also networking with other people in the industry that can ultimately, they end up sending you business. So
Right. You nailed it. That is so what the networking and the collaborating and just, yep, it's community over competition. And actually the best thing is getting to know your competition. You're actually going to find out you'll learn a lot, just as you said, and then being able to refer to one another too, and having each other back each other up if there's certain events that we just need help on, and a safe place to ask questions and just learn about business and how are you doing this and what are you doing about that and those sort of things. So you nailed it when you said I would love that tip, and you're right. I am so much about networking and collaborating and just getting to know our competition and having a place to come together to grow our businesses and be able to refer to one another. So thank you for that tip. That was perfect.
yeah.
I want to hear more about your business. Tell me a favorite story that you have that you can share about your business.
Sure. So I always like to share funny things that I've seen at weddings because they're the best. They're the best stories, and I've seen some.
Yes.
So, for example, I was going back to a venue, and this was a very upscale venue. And I was going back at like 1 o'clock in the morning after everything was done to get some of my rentals. And I discovered that these really tall wrought iron candlestick things that I had for ceremonies, it lined their aisle to kind of define, so they had an aisle in this big space.
Oh, yeah.
They were gone. And I was like, how could these big things walk off? So I asked the security guard that was hanging out there that let me in at the venue, and he informed me that the groomsmen decided to walk the streets of downtown St. Paul with my candles. These are 5 foot tall wrought iron candle holders with burning candles on them.
Oh, my goodness.
So I'm like, okay, what do I do? So I went to the St. Paul Hotel, again, upscale place, right, where they were staying that night. And the reception was actually over there in a room. And I had to go there anyways to clean up. And I thought, well, maybe they're in the room. Well, they weren't in the room. But the people at the desk there told me, they're like, oh, yeah, we saw those. We made them put the candles out, and they took them up to their room.
Wow.
So I had to find out their room number. I go retrieve my candlesticks from the room where the party was still going on.
Wow, it sounds like they really liked those items.
So I got them back.
Wow.
But this is the same wedding that I actually didn't clean up the room they were in at the St. Paul Hotel. I didn't clean that room up till the next day. But they had taken my 24-inch tall Pilsner vases. So these are like really tall 2-foot Pilsner vases that were full of water and flowers. They had thrown the water and the flowers out, and they had filled it up with beer from the kegs.
Oh.
So I think that's why they might have thought that going through the streets with burning candles was a good idea.
Oh, interesting.
when I got there to clean it up, I was just really glad that it was beer that was in those vases because it was
Oh, I
really
bet.
nice, clear yellow color.
Oh my heavens. That's a story there, Tammy. Yes.
That's probably one of my best ones, but I have
I, yeah. Yes, I know. It's just like, I wonder if there's any pictures of that
I
walking
know.
down downtown St. Paul. That's pretty
Well,
hilarious. Oh,
long after the photographer went home, so yeah, I don't know if they have any pictures.
I know, probably just their own. Oh my goodness, that is a
Well,
story.
I would have liked to have seen it because I'm sure it was
Yes.
quite a sight. There was 10 of them, so 10 of those big candlesticks.
Wow, that's
It
a
was quite
lot to be carrying around.
right at bar close, downtown. I don't know. It was quite the scene, I'm sure. A little parade.
Yeah, so I was gonna say it had to be a parade. Oh my gosh. That's a fun story. Oh, it's just been great talking to you about this. Is there in your business, and I love that just how your business has grown into a family business and that sort of thing here in the Twin Cities. Is there anything else that you'd like our listeners to know?
Well, this has been a very hard year for us small businesses. So, owning your own business has many ups and downs, and it's very helpful to surround yourself with other people in your industry. They can help cheer you on when things get tough. And I have a great group of what we call friends in the industry that just help me out a ton. They help bring my spirits up when they're low, and it's good to be there for them too. And I guess, throughout the years, there's been ups and downs too. And so I guess I just keep going with it. Just keep going. It goes down and then things go back up. So I think
Yes.
we're going to have a big 2021, and I'm hoping for the best for everybody and in this industry that we're in here.
Agreed. Agreed. We'll do this together.
Yeah, we'll get through it together.
Yes, exactly. Oh my gosh, Tammy, thank you for your time today. We will talk and see with you soon at our next event.
Okay, thank you so much.
To learn more about Tammy and see her marvelous samples of her work, visit studiobfloral.com. Again, studiobfloral.com. To find out more about our networking opportunities, please join us at tcwep.com. We have both in-person and virtual events. We would love to have you join us. Again, tcwep.com. Thanks so much for listening.